Hello, hello. This is Chandra Weigel, Associate State Director of Outreach and Advocacy for AARP Houston. I want to welcome you to this important discussion on an important topic that impacted most Houstonians, and that is water bill accuracy and transparency. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization that has been working to promote the health and well-being of Americans 50 and older for more than 60 years. Water bills have been a source of frustration for many Houstonians who have reported inaccurate charges, unexpected spikes, and confusing statements. Today, we're pleased to have Houston's Mayor John Whitmire with us, who will shed light on the City of Houston's comprehensive water improvement plan. If you've participated in one of our telephone town halls before, you know that this is similar to a radio talk show, and you will have an opportunity to ask your question live. If you would like to ask a question at any time during this call, please press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected to an AARP staff member who will note your name and question and place you in the queue. The sooner you press *3, the sooner you will be online with our guest. Just a friendly reminder to everyone, please grab a pen and paper as we will be providing handy information and phone numbers that you may want to jot down. Hello, if you're just joining, I'm Chandra Weigel with AARP here in Houston. Welcome to this important discussion of the newly implemented Comprehensive Water Improvement Plan. We will be talking to Mayor John Whitmire and his team, who will be taking our questions live as we proceed. I will be mentioning a couple of websites that you can tune into for resources. You can start by visiting the AARP Houston website at aarp.org/Houston or aarp.org Nosotros Houston for Spanish. If you're just joining us, press *3 at any time to ask a question. The Mayor's Comprehensive Water Bill Plan fits into Houston's Age-Friendly Livable Community Plan, which was made into an executive order a few years back and provided a framework of livability. It has been shown that older adults want to live in their homes as long as possible and age in place. And we want to take a moment to recognize Mayor John Whitmire for being proactive and listening to the people and addressing this very important issue. We know that Mayor Whitmire's priorities include government that works and quality of life. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now I want to take a few moments here to introduce our mayor. Mayor Whitmire is the former dean of the Texas Senate and was sworn into office as Houston's 63rd mayor on January 2nd, 2024. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Mayor, and welcome to the call. The floor is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me. I'm available for questions. As it pertains to the water, we've completely transformed that department. No one should be getting outrageous water bills. Our water bill should be accurate and fair and based on usage. When I got here, it was just a guess. Computers were running it. The sensors were broken. There was a 5-year plan to improve the city sensors, which actually sends the signals of the water usage. We still have about 100,000 that are outdated and broken. We're in the process. We have a goal of by next January having them all replaced. So all I'm saying is you're not supposed to get an outrageous water bill. If you do, call the number on your bill or call me. So
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for
I want
to thank you and the AARP for who you are. I've worked with AARP for years as a member of the legislature. I know how valuable your service is, and I'm here to serve if I can be of any assistance to you and your members.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for your years of service in the Texas legislature. And we do look forward to working with you as a local team here in Houston. And we do look forward to working with you and your team as we move forward. If you, and I hope you'll stick around for one or two questions. I know you have a busy schedule. But if you're just joining in, we're fortunate today to speak with Houston's Mayor John Whitmire about the newly implemented comprehensive water bill plan. Joining Mayor Whitmire is one of his team members, Gina Guillory. Gina has worked in local government for the past 35 years in both LaPorte and Baytown and has served several departments there. She is now serving the City of Houston as the Assistant Director of Business Operation and will help us better understand the Mayor's water bill improvement plan. Welcome, Gina. If you like, you can start with your statement, or I can jump right into some questions for both you and the Mayor.
No, feel free to go into the questions. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, quick question for you and or the Mayor. How will the outline dashboard improve transparency? Because I know that was a big concern for many Houstonians about who to talk to and what was going on and why the bills were so outrageous at that point.
So I will speak to that and just say the dashboard is going to allow the citizens to be able to log in and see exactly where we are in the plan. And so it's very interactive. They'll be able to go in, put in their address, and it will allow them to see when we will be in their area to replace the remote reading devices. And so it's very interactive. It will also display the work that we've already done and give a breakdown. We know we have 125,000 that we need to replace, and the dashboard is real-time information, so you can see at any time where we are in that process.
Wonderful. And what is the goal of the comprehensive water bill plan, if you could lay that out for us?
I will tell you the goal of the plan overall is for citizens to receive accurate bills. We want to make sure the bills are accurate. We recognize that we have some aging and aged infrastructure, and so our goal is to upgrade the infrastructure and the technology that complements it, as well as enhance our customer service. If you have done business with the city over the years, we're expecting for you to see a huge improvement in the way that you receive real-time responses to your concerns. So the customer service aspect as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you've just joined us, we're speaking with Mayor John Whitmire and one of his staff members, Gina Guillory, about the new water bill improvement plan. So if you'd like to ask a question, please press *3 on your telephone keypad. Mr. Mayor, could you explain how the new calculations would work, the new usage calculations would work?
I don't know if Mr. Mayor, if he's still there, but I'll be happy to respond to that. And so the way that the calculation actually works, if you have had an account with the City of Houston for less than a year, then your set usage will be 3,000 gallons. And so that's automatically because there's not enough account consumption history to get a true baseline for your average. And so we're using the standard average, the state standard average, and Houston's average in order to go with the 3,000 gallons. If you've had account with the city for longer than a year, and then we're going to go and look over the 36-month period to determine what your regular consumption average is. We're removing any extremely high bills, any estimations, bad weather days, any anomalies that could have changed what your average is. We removed all of those before coming up with your actual average, so it's more accurate, and then that is what your average will be during the time that we are upgrading our infrastructure.
And will those averages reflect, for instance, people with pools and people with that use more than the 3,000 gallons a month?
Absolutely, it will. That will be taken into consideration. account by account. And so if you have a pool, you've used usage during this time of year, that will be factored into your average. We just won't take any anomalies, anything that's out of your regular average. But if you have a pool, you pretty much have a pattern, you use the same system, your pool uses the same amount of gallons, then all of that will be factored in. But it's not going to, the bill will not be averaged based off of summer or winter usage. We're just looking at it overall, and the averages are generally lower than what your regular average is.
Wonderful. Can you talk about the plan and upgrading the remote meter reading, and how is that being rolled out?
Yes, ma'am. So the remote reading devices are critical in order to send the signal. So it transmits the consumption from the meter to the technology so that it gives us accurate readings as well as more timely. We don't actually have to roll a truck out to the location in order to get a physical read. So the technology is what provides us with better accuracy and more timely reading of the meter. So our plan is to go and change out, again, it's $125,000 that we are doing over the next month through the end of the year, and change out those remote reading devices so that you have a new remote reading device as well as a new register so we can ensure the accuracy of the data. Whenever you use estimates or manual, there's always an opportunity for there to be an issue. So this will allow real-time data that is accurate directly from your meter. Over the next few months, we're going to go to several. So in the first phase of the plan, there's 4 phases. So in the first phase, there's 5 cycles, and we'll start with those areas. We'll go in and change out those devices. We'll pause for 30 days because we want to make sure we're going to monitor. Once we change out that device, then we're going to monitor the usage for 30 days to ensure that it's transmitting an actual read every single day for 30 consecutive days. And then once it's transmitting for 30 consecutive days, that is considered to be ready, it's functional, and now there will be a letter that will go out to the customer making them aware we have upgraded your technology, you have a new remote reading device. In many cases, we also have to install the new register. We've monitored your consumption for 30 days to know that this reading device is transmitting every single day. And then that letter will say, now, in 60 days, you will be removed from your set usage and you will go back to your actual consumption, except when you go back to it this time, you can trust the data that you're receiving because we have enhanced the technology to ensure that it's accurate.
Thank you. If you're just joining us, I'm Shonda Weigel, and we're joined by Gina Guillory, who works for the City of Houston, and we're talking about comprehensive water bill improvement plan. So if you have any questions, please press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected to one of our screeners. So if you have a question, *3 on your telephone keypad, and one of our screeners will take your question. Before I get to my next question, I wanted to check in with Rosalinda to see if we had any questions in the queue that we could take.
Hi, yes, Chandra, I believe we have Paul on the line who has a question about cost per gallon. Paul, if you're still on the line, you are live and you can go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much. The question I have has to do with the rate of per gallon that is charged for the first 3,000 gallons. And the first 3,000 gallons, I'm going by memory now, I think would cost us about $45 per 3,000 gallons, counting both the water and the drainage. If we go to 4,000 gallons, 1,000 gallons more, and that total bill is more like $85 to $90. Not like that last 1,000 gallons is a tremendous step up compared to the 3,000. It's a disparity in terms of the average dollar for the first 3,000 gallons, about $15 for every gallon of the 3,000, to about $22 a gallon for every gallon over that 1, 2, and 3, and 4,000. This has been going on for, well, as long as I've been in this house here in Houston, which is like 35 years. And it doesn't seem like it's ever going to change. And we live in a house, and it does require some water usage, which on an average is going to be more than 3,000 gallons because we do have a lawn. Why is there such a disparity?
So I will tell you the water rates are based off of trying to do water conservation and encourage water conservation. During this implementation plan of the water relief, we haven't focused on the actual rates themselves, but that will be something that the administration will look at a later time. Right now, our focus is trying to ensure that the meters themselves are accurate, the consumption is accurate, and then the rates will be addressed during a different time.
Thank you, Gina. If you're just joining, press star 3 on your telephone keypad if you'd like to ask a question. We're joined today with Gina Guillory, who is with the City of Houston, and she's talking about the Comprehensive Water Improvement Plan. If you'd like to ask a question, press star 3 on your telephone keypad. Gina, while we're waiting, I have another question. One of our volunteers, Mary Esther, who actually got her bill adjusted, and she was able to do it in person. And she wanted to know if folks could still receive assistance in person, and would the Leland location still be open to the public?
Absolutely, yes. We are still doing in person, and for those who want to do it virtually, you can do it that way as well. We are taking available appointments. You can go online to our website, HoustonWaterBills.org, in order to schedule your appointment, or you can call in to 713-371-1400, and we'll be happy to schedule an appointment for you to come in.
Wonderful. So the next question I have, what are some other enhancements that we can look for in this comprehensive plan?
Well, what we're enhancing, I just spoke about the in-person and virtual. That is something that has not been in place since before COVID. And so making sure that we are accessible and available to those customers who desire to come in and speak to us directly, that is an enhancement. Reducing the amount of time that it takes us to actually resolve a customer's issue. And so we want to make sure that the customer feels seen and heard. And so we're trying to be more responsive. When you call in to our contact center, we're responding to those calls in less than a minute. So you can expect to receive someone on the other end of that phone who is eager to assist you, who's not going to rush you off the phone, that's going to listen to what your concerns are, and make an attempt to resolve them while you're on the phone. Our goal is to do one-stop resolution whenever it's possible. And so those are the different things that we're working on in reference to our customer service, the technology, and then the in-person or virtual appointments.
Wonderful. If you've just joined us, this is a live interactive call with AARP Houston, and our guest was Mayor Whitmire, along with his staff member, Gina Guillory. Gina Guillory is here to address the questions, to address the comprehensive water bill improvement plan. So if you'd like to have a question, if you'd like to ask a question, press star 3 on your telephone keypad to be connected to a staff member. So Gina, tell us, what are some of the structural issues that Public Works will be addressing that will be a part of this plan, aside from the new electronic meters?
So structurally, some changes have already been made, and I can't speak to what's coming in the future. That is something for our administration, the mayor, to roll out. But already there has been change in the Houston public work leadership. There's been a retirement of the director, and then also the deputy director who served over the customer contact center and account services is no longer with the organization as well. And so there has already been some movement that is giving us some more opportunities to grow and enhance our services to our customers.
Wonderful. What are some significant, I know you'll be working on replacing some of the remote reading devices, the RRDs is what I understand they're called. And is that the same thing as the electronic meters that you spoke of earlier, or is that a separate device?
No, the RRDs, you'll see them referred to that. That's just remote reading devices. And okay. You're asking why is it significant? Yes. They provide the accuracy. It increases the level of accuracy of what consumption is going through your meter. It reduces or eliminates the city from having to go and get an estimated read. Because when you have to roll out to the location, it's time to do that, as well as now you have a person physically going in and doing the work. And so the technology is more real time. It sends a signal, and we can look at it almost immediately. And so the remote reading device is very significant to us enhancing and improving our customer service and the accuracy of the bill. Along with that, once you receive those remote reading devices, the census devices that we're installing now, then it will allow the customers to set up notifications. If you want to be notified, if you're using, you can set your own threshold. If you use 3,000 gallons and you want to be notified, if you go 1,000 gallons over, then there's a way for you to set up notifications so it will notify you ahead of time. You won't have to wait until you actually receive that bill to know that it's going to be 1,000 gallons more than what it was last month. And so there's some other, those type of enhancements with the remote reading device is what's going to be beneficial to our customers so that they can see things before in real time and they won't have to call or wait on us to get the information to them. It gives them the ability to access it on their own.
Thanks, Gina. Before we go back to the queue to check for any of our callers, I wanted to remind you that if you'd like to ask a question, press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected to one of our screeners. Rosalinda, did we have any more folks who wanted to ask a question?
Yes, I believe we have AARP member and volunteer Mary Esther, and she has a recent experience she wants to share. Mary Esther, you are live now with you're live now. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor Whitmire because I have been, I've talked to the City of Houston Water Department, and I cannot believe how quickly it was resolved because I received 4 months or maybe even more because I didn't really pay attention of estimated bills. And once he was sworn in and the telephone number and email address was put on there, I reached out and I got a call the very next day, set up an appointment, went in quickly, and they were very professional, just very thorough. And I got a new meter, and it's just been great. I really appreciate it, and I just wanted to tell him thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Esther. Gina, I hope you got that. So
yes.
We have one AARP member.
Yes, I did get that, and thank you so much for sharing that. You know, you guys have seen the news, and so some are very quickly to talk about the things that we don't do so well, but I'm so excited because we do a lot of things well. There are some things that are going really good, and providing and turning around the customer response time is one of the things that I have taken very personal, and so I'm glad to hear when people speak out about the good things as well. We are definitely working and acknowledge that we have work to do in order to earn the trust of the citizens of Houston. We recognize that and we own it. But I'm so thankful that when we start, you see progress. You see what we're doing in order to demonstrate how much we really value the honor to serve you. Then that's what makes me excited. So thank you so much for telling your story.
And
Thank
Chandra,
you,
we
Gina.
actually
Go ahead, Rosa.
we actually have some questions from online. So one of the questions is about the relief requests and how they will be streamlined. Gina, can you answer that?
So there is no, and I'm not sure what you mean by streamline, because we are answering and trying to address issues as they come. So we're not taking calls and breaking them and putting them into different categories of importance or buckets. Every single call that comes through our contact center is important, and we are treating it as if it is the highest importance every single call. So we're not streamlining. When you call, someone is going to serve you. And if you email, someone is going to serve you. If there ever is a time to where you feel like you are not getting excellent service, please don't hesitate to call and make sure you reach out to us, because we are trying to provide real-time service to you immediately, if at all possible.
Yes, and that's exactly what Mary Esther said. She had a wonderful experience. Thank you for that. The next question from mine is regarding single-family residential customers. And the question is, when will single-family residential customers be billed based on set usage?
So single-family residential customers are already being billed on set usage. So they should have already received their set usage letters. Those went out. We started that in May. And so you should already know what your set usage is. If you have not received a set usage bill, please call 713-371-1400, because the set usage bills are already in place. You will also notice on that bill that you will also see your actual consumption as well. And so it will show you what the set usage is, and right below it, you will see what your actual consumption is. If those are off by a bit, so if you're using way more than what your set usage is, we just encourage you to check your property, check your toilet flappers, see if you're losing water in any other place. You may have an open line, so make sure if it's drastically higher than what your set usage is, to do some research on your property. Call us if you need us to come out and take a look, because we want to ensure that once you roll off of set usage, and the time that you come off of set usage is once we have changed out your remote reading device and register if necessary, and we've monitored your account with 30 consecutive days of automated meter reading. Once those two things have happened, then 60 days from that time, you will go back to your actual consumption. And so please look at your set usage, but also look at your actual usage to see if they're in line.
Perfect. Thank you for that explanation. There's actually a follow-up question to that, and the question is, what is the average set usage for accounts older than 1 year?
Say it again. Ask the question again.
What is the average set usage for accounts older than 1 year?
Older than 1 year. If it's older than 1 year, then it's based off the actual consumption of your account. And so we will go back and look 36 months to find your average. We'll remove any of the bad weather days, any of the extremely high bills, take all of those high numbers out, and then get a true baseline for what you use in a normal situation and base your average off of that. And that's how we come up with your set usage.
Great. And then we have a Facebook, because this is being streamed on Facebook as well. And the question is from Jackie. It is, what does a blue color water bill statement mean?
The blue bill is just our set usage bill. We wanted to be able to do something to differentiate between the regular bill that the customers receive and this new set usage bill. And so that we just decided to make it blue. If you receive a blue bill, that is your set usage bill. And on that is going to show you, as I mentioned, your set usage as well as your actual consumption.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. If you've just joined us, I'm Chandra Weigel, and we're talking to Gina Guillory about the comprehensive water bill. Remember, if you have a question, press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected to an AARP staff member who will note your name and your question and place you in the queue. So, Gina, you touched on this a little bit. Can you give our listeners some tips on how to better conserve water, as well as what will happen on those weather-related days that we seem to have very frequent here in Houston? How are water bills handled there? Will be handled there.
So one of the things with water conservation, or just being mindful of your water, many times if you have a sprinkler system, and if you have your sprinkler automatically set on a timer, sometimes forgetting that it's watering incrementally, 4 or 5, sometimes you have 8 stations. So just being mindful that if you have a sprinkler system, that will contribute to the high water usage, and we're getting into that season. And so changing so you're not using as many cycles will help with water conservation. Doing a self-audit and to your toilets, check your toilet flappers to ensure that they're functioning properly. Taking just a different color soft drink, a purple or orange, and just dropping it if you don't have a toilet tablet, and just drop it into the toilet tank and let it stay there. Don't flush the toilet, for 30 minutes or so, and then go back. And if you see that color in the bowl, then that means your flapper is not completely sealing over the exposure. And so that is a way for you to lose water, and people can lose water that way and don't realize it because it may not be something so obvious as walking outside and seeing a puddle of water. And so just being mindful to do those types of things will help you.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. That is actually wonderful insight. The next question we have, can you talk about, I know you've mentioned it a few times, a little bit more about the customer service and what Houstonians can really expect when they call in, and how quick will a resolution, how quick will their turnaround be if they do have a major issue or a water bill that's a little high?
So we just ask that you give us the opportunity to serve you. Give us the opportunity to serve you first. And so you are our priority. And so, but the time that it's going to take us to resolve is going to vary depending upon the severity of what it is. If you call in, you have your set usage letter, and you look at your set usage and you say, there's no way this can't be. There's no way I use 8 can be my average. It's just me and one other person in the house. It's just no way possible. Then call the number. Call and talk to us, and we can reduce your set usage to what we can talk about it, and then we can make an adjustment to your set usage. That can happen right over the phone in less than 2 minutes. If you get your bill and your bill is higher than what you thought it would be, then you give us a call. We can look at your account. We can get that resolved same day, next day. If you have an open line and it's something astronomical, or if you have a history over the last couple of months, you gradually see that it keeps getting higher and higher, it keeps going up, then call us. We'll have to send a technician out to do some troubleshooting. We call it remediation, but we'll go and actually check the meter and make sure all the devices are correctly. That may take us a day. That may take us 2 days. So it just all depends on what it is that you need. But we want you to call and give us a chance to serve you, to resolve it, and understand that our goal is to resolve it as quickly as possible. And that is not 30, 60, and 90 days down the road. We're trying to get you resolved within the next week. In most cases, right now, the next day, but no more 30, 60, 90-day resolutions.
Thank you, Gina. Remember, we still got a little more time. If you'd like to ask a question, press star 3 on your telephone keypad. Rosalinda, did you have any more questions?
Yes, we have an online question about the RRD replacement. And the question is, how can customers track their RRD replacement progress?
Yes, so you can go to the dashboard. So let me give you so you can go to HoustonWaterBills.org. I have another email address. And then ImproveWaterBills.org. That's where you can see the dashboard. You'll be able to go in. There's a place where you can enter your address. And when you enter your address, it will let you know the time frame that we will be in your area working to change out the remote reading devices. The way that the plan is designed is we're going by cycles. And so when we get to your cycle, then you'll be able to see when we'll be in your area. So it'll tell you, we're going to be in your area from, July the 11th through August 15th. And then once we actually change out your device, then you will be able to see. You go in and put your address. It'll let you know that we've already changed your device. And it's real-time data.
Perfect. And can you repeat that phone number you shared earlier, Gina? If people want to get in contact and schedule an appointment with customer service, how do they do that? Walk them through that process.
Absolutely. 713-371-1400. When you call that number, let them know that you would like to schedule an in-person or virtual appointment to discuss your water account. Whoever's on the phone at that time will walk you through, allow you to choose the date, the time, and then that's all you have to do is show up after that. Same way if it's virtual. You also can go online and pick your own date and time at Improve, IMPROVE, Water Bills, WaterBills, at HoustonTX.org.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So we have another question, which is around measures being taken to prevent inaccurate bills, Gina. And that question is around what quality control measures are being implemented to prevent the inaccuracy of bills.
Quality control is key. And so every day, first thing in the morning, the technicians leave from our location. They're out of the office before 7:30, and they're out in the field changing out remote reading devices and registers where necessary. They do that all day. The next morning, we receive a report that shows any of the addresses where they went in and did the work the day before that is not transmitting. If it's still not transmitting, it shows up on a report the very next day, and we assign those work orders to technicians to go back to those properties to remediate and find out what the issue is and repair it the same day. And that happens every single day. So we are ensuring the accuracy of the work by checking it within 24 hours of the installation and then dispatching someone out back to that address to ensure that it's working properly before they leave. And that happens every single day. And that's how we're remediating. That's how we're ensuring the accuracy of our installation. The other piece is what I mentioned before is once we finish with that process, then before we send you a letter letting you know that in 60 days you're going to go back to actual consumption, we have received a reading from that remote reading device for 30 consecutive days. And I want to stress consecutive days because if it picks up 18 days and then on the 19th day it does not transmit a reading, it starts over from day one because we want to guarantee 30 consecutive days of remote reads that are coming over electronically. And once that happens, and only once that happens, then we will send a letter saying we have upgraded your technology, and now in 60 days, so you still have 2 months, and then the bill that you receive after that 60 days is what's going to demonstrate your actual consumption. Because we want you to be able to trust that when you receive an actual bill again after this set usage, that you can be confident that the reading and the bill is accurate.
Great. No, that's great information. Thank you. We actually have Andrew as well joining us. Andrew, I'm going to have you go live, and he has a regarding his bill.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I sort of have a two-part question. So the first one was I just saw on sort of the Houston Public Media site, but I wanted to confirm if the actual billing, or actual usage exceeds the fixed amount, what you assign the fixed amount, you're not going to back bill for that actual amount. Can you confirm that? And I kind of have a follow-up. Yeah.
Yes, confirmed. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Confirmed.
So pardon, I might have missed it if you said earlier. So even if it's a 10x, even if hypothetically somebody's 10,000 gallons, but they're what do you call that? Their assigned fixed amount is only 1,000. You will not bill for that back amount.
Mr. Andrew, confirmed. Conformed.
Okay.
AARP customers, members, please know, we will not back bill. We will not back bill you.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you so much for taking our questions. This part two is, I apologize, missed it because I was on hold with your colleague stating my question, but the two criteria for going to actual billing are, you said 30 days of actual readings. What was the other one? Well, was there another one? You said there's like two things.
The first one. The key is the first piece. The first piece is that we have gone and replaced your technology. So we have added a brand new remote reading device and, if necessary, a new register. That's the first piece. Once we do that, then we need 30 consecutive days of that remote reading device transmitting an electronic read to our tower. Only after both of those things happen will you receive a letter telling you in 60 days you will go on actual consumption. So you will be on set usage until we get to your cycle, and then once we get to your cycle and to your address, you will continue to be on set usage.
Perfect. Thank you for addressing that, Gina. And we have one more online question, which is, what changes are being made to the utility bill design?
We are still working on the design, but what I will tell you is the goal is so that you will understand it. You will not need someone to interpret it for you. You won't need 3 scientists or math experts. We want to make it to where you can see your bill and that you can trust what it says, because we've broken it down to where you can follow the usage and everything. And so we are not there yet, but once we get there, that is the goal. We want to make it simple.
Thank you, Gina. Real quick, we've got a couple more calls that are being screened right now, but I did have a question. If I wanted, I know we can go in person. You mentioned that we can still go in person to deal with the bill. If we wanted to schedule an appointment for a virtual call with someone, is that technology available with the city at this point?
Yes, if you want to do a virtual?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. You can call 713-371-1400, or you can go to improvewaterbills.org to schedule it. Yes, that's in place right now.
Excellent. Let's see. Rosalinda, did we have any more? I think we have 2, but are they ready to be?
We have some currently being screened. But we do have another online question on the RRDs. How many RRDs are being replaced across the city?
125,906 to be exact.
Wow. And for those who don't know what RRDs are, can you explain that, Gina, please?
Absolutely. It stands for Remote Reading Device. And it's basically you have a meter, and the meter is the device where the actual water is going through. On top of the meter sits a register, and the register captures the reading of the water that's actually going through the actual meter itself. The remote reading device transmits the reading from the register into our network system so that we can bill you correctly. So it is just the device used to transmit the reading through the airwaves, through the cloud, so we can get your reading quicker, more timely, and accurate.
Great. No, that's very important. And so we do have a caller on the line, and his name is George. George, I'm bringing you live so that you can ask your question about the water usage on your lot.
Hi, good afternoon. My wife and I have a lot, and there has not been a house on this lot since the late 70s. There's been no water used on this lot since the late 70s, and yet we're getting billed for water usage. This just started a couple years ago. We called, and you sent somebody out. They took a look at the lot and said, no, there's not a house there. They looked at the meter. No, there's no water that's been going through this meter, and yet we still get bills for water usage. And I think the phrase you used earlier was based on usage billing. We haven't used any water in 30 years since we've owned the lot. So help me understand why we and I would think many others in Houston are getting bills for water we are not using.
I will be happy to do that. And so your bill is made up of consumption, and then there are base charges, BASE. There are base charges. And so when you look at your bill, there's a place where you'll be able to see the reading, and it will show whether there was any water used. So in your case, you're saying that the reading this time was the same as it was last time and the time before that and the time before that, and there has been zero consumption. And so you'll be able to see that on your bill, that there is no consumption, water has gone through the meter. But because you still have an active water account, then you will continue to be billed for base charges. And that's what you're seeing on your bill. It's not for the consumption. It's the base charge for actual having an active account, which gives you access to water if you wanted to turn on the water, if you wanted to use it. That's what you're paying for, is the access to the water. Now, there is an ordinance in place that will allow you, if there's ever a time that you did not want to pay or be charged those base charges, then there's a $150 charge to basically have us to cap off your meter so that you will not receive those base charges. And so it just stays dormant. But that's the difference. When you look at your bill, you have consumption and then you have base charges. And if there's no usage, you're not being charged for any consumption. It is just the base charge for having access to the commodity.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you. On behalf of AARP, I want to thank everyone, especially Mayor Whitmire and Gina Guillory, for participating in today's telephone town hall to speak about the comprehensive water bill improvement plan. As we near the end of this call, we have a few minutes left for remarks. Gina, would you like to provide any closing remarks and reminders about those emails and phone numbers?
I would like to thank you on behalf of Mayor Whitmire and city administration for allowing us the opportunity to serve you and your members. It is our honor to be a servant here in the city of Houston, and so we take great pride in the service that we're providing, and we want to get better at it. So we want to thank you for the opportunity to share the information, hoping that it would make our processes smoother and our interactions more pleasant. Again, please reach out to us. Give us the opportunity to serve you at 713-371-1400. You can go to the website if you want to see the dashboard and see when we'll be in your area, replacing your remote reading devices by going to improvewaterbills.org. And if you want to send an email, you can also send an email to improvewaterbills@HoustonTX.org.
Thank you. Thank you to our Mayor, John Whitmire, and Gina Guillory, one of his staff members, for providing this valuable information to help Houstonians tackle water bills. You can obtain more information about AARP at aarp.org/Houston or aarp.org Nosotros Houston for information in Spanish. As a nonprofit, nonpartisan social mission organization, AARP is in your corner, fighting on issues that matter to you and your family. We hope today's call was helpful, and we do thank you for your participation. We apologize if we were not able to get to your question. Thank you, and have a good day. This concludes our call.